This is 26-year-old Marcus Baumgartner. Originally born in Albuquerque, New Mexico to parents Melissa and Abraham Baumgartner, he moved to Phoenix, Arizona at the young age of 4. He would grow up enjoying film and tennis, and when he was just 12 years old, he would start an online forum where he would give reviews of obscure indie films from around the world. Some of these would only gain little attention, so unfortunately, no records of these reviews nor the website it was posted on would still exist. He would attend North High School where he would pursue playing tennis and make a few films of his own, as well as helping with the drama club and their writing and set design. He was well known in his school for his comedy and his love of film and had a promising potential. He would graduate in early 2015 and would attend Scottsdale Community College with a major in film. He would attend the school for only 2 years until 2017, where he would get an offer from Cartoon Network to be a co-writer for Rick and Morty. Although this new opportunity seemed to be a turning point in Baumgartner's life, he was let go after only 1 season of the show. He would fly under the radar for a while, but would reappear again as a co-writer and proofreader for Total Dramarama and a co-writer for the Slender Man movie. It's safe to say this would be the peak of his career, as he would once again go missing from the mainstream, except for one time when it was theorized that he was a background character in an episode of the iCarly reboot. Booking roles can definitely be hard for Baumgartner due to his little career experience and an occurrence in 2020 when he was arrested for DUI, public intoxication, and a domestic dispute with his roommate. As far as we know, this is the last we've heard from Baumgartner, and we know he lives in Seattle, Washington with his girlfriend. This is 30-year-old Taylor Grace Anthony. Born in Columbus, Ohio, she lived in a suburban working-class neighborhood where she grew up horseback riding and had a deep passion for history. She wanted to be a history teacher or a horse breeder when she grew up. She did very well in school, usually keeping an AB honor roll, and was president of her FCCLA club at Bexley High School. She would graduate in 2010 and would attend Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio, with a major in global studies to chase her dreams as a history teacher. After graduating in 2015 with a bachelor's in global studies, she would become a high school teacher at Worthington Kilbourne High School, where she still teaches to this day. Taylor Grace has worked all of her life to become a prominent figure in her community, and she's done a great job at it. But unfortunately, there is one event that traps her name in infamy. On August 9, 2005, Taylor Grace's cousin, Casey Anthony, would give birth to a baby named Kaylee Marie. On July 15, 2008, Kaylee would be reported missing by Casey's mother and Taylor Grace's aunt, Cindy Anthony. Kaylee had been missing for a full 31 days before the call had been made. The next day, Casey would be arrested for child neglect and misinforming police after telling them that she disappeared with her babysitter named Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. Gonzalez never existed, but a woman with the same name would file a lawsuit against Anthony. Casey was later charged with the first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter of Kaylee Anthony, and was also charged with 4 counts of providing false information to police. Unfortunately, no matter how hard Taylor Grace worked, this would be what she was most well known for, being the cousin of Casey Anthony. This is 41-year-old John McGillicuddy. Born in Trenton, New Jersey, he spent his younger years learning how to play football at his elementary school. At the age of 12, he would move from New Jersey to St. Louis, Missouri. During his childhood, he enjoyed playing football, listening to Metallica, and also had a pleasure in the game of chess and Gamoku. Once he moved to St. Louis, he would realize his young talent for American football. McGillicuddy's middle school years consisted of progressing in football and hanging out with his friends. He attended Sumner High School in St. Louis, where he was very well known for being impressive on the football field and an overall great student in person. His 1997 sophomore year stats consisted of 6 touchdowns and 400 yards. One thing that made McGillicuddy so unique compared to other players in his area was his non-stop studying of strategies and his unique playing style. He would often recommend strategies that was met with confused looks, but every now and again, his coach would approve and they would work phenomenally every time. McGillicuddy often enjoyed confusing his opponents with mind games on the field, like pretending a whistle blew and stopped running so everyone else would stop, just so he could continue running into the end zone. He received a scholarship from the University of Missouri to play football, where he would play for 2 years until he became a victim of a terrible accident that would change his life forever. An often misconception in society is that no matter how talented you are, smart you are, or influential you are, nobody is truly invincible. On the night of February 15, 2001, McGillicuddy would drive home from the library after studying with two of his friends for an upcoming exam. At approximately 11:32 p.m. that night, McGillicuddy would be T-boned by a drunk driver. Thankfully, the driver, who was later identified as Angel Tuckerson, along with McGillicuddy, were the only people involved in the accident and neither received fatal injuries. Tuckerson would later be arrested, and McGillicuddy would suffer from 2 fractured ribs, a broken collarbone, and a dislocation fracture of the C7 vertebrae. Even after full healing and physical therapy, the post-healing troubles from these injuries were just too much to put McGillicuddy back on the field. Thankfully, this isn't the end of McGillicuddy's story. Due to his studying and deep knowledge of the game of American football, he would be picked up by NCAA as a commentator for college football. He would be a commentator all the way up until 2014, where he would move on to commentate for various golf organizations, but finally settling with the International Golf Federation, or the IGF, where he still commentates to this day. All 3 stories you just heard are very interesting and I feel should teach some lessons to certain people. I love how they all have their own interesting features about themselves. The downfall of Baumgartner, the trapping and infamy of Anthony, the comeback of McGillicuddy. These are all just everyday people to outsiders who don't do research on them. I feel these stories should teach everyone at least 2 very important lessons. Always learn a person's story because you never really know how truly interesting someone is. And number 2, don't believe everything you see on the internet. You see, even though all 3 of these people have drastically different stories, they all do share one thing in common. This person does not exist. The names are made up, the stories are made up, even the pictures are made up, which actually brings me to the main topic of this video, the advancements of AI generation. See, the pictures were actually made using an AI generator from a website called thispersondoesnotexist.com. You can actually visit it and it will randomly generate you a face. It takes information and conglomerates it together into a pretty realistic photo of people. All of these pictures you see on screen right now are all pictures made with that website. And none of these people exist. Something really cool that I think about these pictures, and this website in general, is that, yes, they do look like real people. And I don't doubt that there are real people who do look like these images. But one thing I find really cool is that no matter how much somebody looks like one of these images, this is not a picture of that person. I don't know what it is, but something about that fact is really interesting to me. AI has gotten incredibly advanced over the past couple of years, and it's really cool seeing all the different things you can do with it. There's This Person Does Not Exist, where you can randomly generate realistic faces. There's ChatGPT, a really cool AI that will write paragraphs based on the prompt you tell it to write about. And one I use personally, there's Dolly Mini and Midjourney, which will generate images for you based off what you tell it to make. Anyone who is a fan of my music or my Instagram has probably seen some of these images that I've generated with Midjourney and Dolly Mini. Just a few years ago, robot dogs were something that could barely walk even when controlled by humans, and now they can do backflips and run and parkour and anything you need to make a living nightmare if you were to see it coming at you. On a side note, there's actually a really interesting game I used to play called Cell to Singularity, where you can evolve your way from a single cell all the way to advanced AI technology. AI evolution has definitely advanced a ton over the past years, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. Now thankfully I feel it's going to be a long time before we end up with a HAL 9000 situation, but the top level performances of basic movements is getting frighteningly close. AI could make a mind of its own, including thinking it's also a human. Like, take this for example. Imagine you're working in a factory, on an assembly line making cars. A large piece of metal falls and knocks you over. You are in pain on the ground, but you don't realize a sharp edge has cut your arm. You feel the pain, but no sensation of blood trickling. You look down, and all you see is an intricate series of wires, plates, and tubing. What if none of it was real? And you think to yourself, This person does not exist.